Alrighty, we have finally arrived. This is the meeting point for the rally. So hopefully we start getting some numbers turning up. Very early though, we're here, it's 11 o'clock, so within the next hour we should start getting a fair few people turning up. And hopefully we've got a lot of people here. And we take the rally right along here. And we head straight down Spring Street, straight down to Parliament. Don't know if you can see that. That's gold, guys. Let's go, mate.
I'm standing outside waiting for you. You were always taking time, baby, playing it through. I was calling out your name, with my eyes on the wall. You were running like a ghost from me. You were running from it all. You got me waiting, I'm on fire. You got me waiting, my desire. You've been playing my mind lately, turning
What do we want?
around.
When do we want it? Now! What do we want? When do we want it? Now! Full track! Full track! Full track! Hell push back! Now! Hell push back! Now! Full track! Full track! Let's make it happen! What do we want? Public access! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Public access! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Public access! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Public access! When do we want it? Now! BIAC! Full track! BIAC! Full track! BIAC! Full track! What do we want? Public access! Now! What do we want? Public access! Now! Full track! BIAC! Full track! Public access! As you can see, guys, right out here, all these people down to support it. Absolutely awesome. Good turnout. And that's what it's about, public getting together and supporting everyone to save our bush.
I hope I can do justice to this crowd right now. This is just blowing me away. It's made the effort really worthwhile. Thank you very much. Right, this campaign, we want our bush back. And that's what it means. We want our bush back. It's too much going on in regards to restrictions of our bush and either banning or restricting bush users. And this is what this campaign is all about. It started just last year with the Andrews government asking for the Victorian Environmental Assessment Council to go along and look at the western parts or central west parts of Victoria to have a look at our state forests in that region. But it's not just to do with that area. We are losing a lot more areas. We've got the Great Forest National Park breathing down our necks as well. We also know that they are starting to look at also our coastline to turn in some of that into marine national parks. So this is what this campaign is, to voice our concerns to the Victorian government and the Andrews government that we've had enough. We want our bush back. We want our bush back. We want our bush back. It's a part of our heritage. 200 years plus ago, our forefathers used the bush for recreational purposes and also commercial use. But slowly but surely, our rights have been getting taken away from us, and we're losing more and more of our lands. This is our bush, as I've stated. It's not the government's bush, it's no one's other bush, but it's our bush. It's not for our generation, but it's also, we've got to look at future generations, our future kids, so they can also enjoy the bush as we have and are today. But we're losing that chance of letting our grandkids and our future children to go out and enjoy the bush that we have. Horse riding, camping, prospecting, hunting, all of those things are either getting disbanded or completely dwindled away from our rightful use of that bush.
Bush users of all varieties standing on the steps of Parliament and showing your support for our bush use, our continued love of the bush, and the fact that we want to have bush use in public hands. Now today, I was very honoured on behalf of Buggew and with Rita Bentley and David Bentley in the Legislative Council to present a petition with 4,431 signatures and climbing. It's still open, folks, and I know many of you have signed the petition to really be a force to Daniel Andrews to make sure he fully understands that there needs to be respect of our bush and there needs to be access of our bush, and we need to be able to ensure that conservation and bush use can coexist. It is not one or the other, they can coexist. Now, you all look beautiful and I would love to stay and talk all day, but we have 20 people to speak, so I'll leave you in the capable hands of the next speaker. Thank you very much for being here.
Thanks, Mel. I'm Louise Daly, and it is great to see you here again. I want to do a special call out to Bill Schultz, who was there at the very first meeting at Mount Cole mid last year, and I want to thank all the people, particularly from Ripon, who came out and supported us at rally after rally after rally. And those of you who have been at those rallies where I've spoken before will know that I have said in the past that I stand with you. I still stand with you, and I want to thank you for everything you are doing to keep the forests open in Ripon. I will continue to fight your fight for you. This is where I live, it's where a lot of you live. I know what this bush means to you, and I just want to thank you so much for coming out today. This is how we tell the government this is what matters to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Louise. Tim Quilty. Tim Quilty is a Liberal Democrat member, also a member of the upper house.
I will be brief. We've always believed, our party believes, that public land, we should have public access to public land that belongs to the public. There are two types of environmentalists, people like us who love the bush, spend our free time in the bush, and then the people from the city, from the inner city, who call themselves environmentalists, who never leave the inner city and want to lock everybody out. These people aren't real environmentalists, they're bullies. And some of them are members of this parliament, and some of them are members of Parks Victoria. The campaign to lock us out of our public land in the regions is typical for the Andrews Labor government, governing for Melbourne only. You don't see them locking up public lands in the city. They're not locking up the MCG, they're not locking up the Treasury Gardens where the public servants go for lunch. It's only land in the bush. City bureaucrats make up the rules for the country. Dark green ideologists pushing these lockouts to exclude all people. As I said in my first speech in this place, maybe it's time for a Brexit. Maybe it's time for our region to leave and become a new state, leave the city to ourselves.
Public land is for everyone. It shouldn't be locked up, and there are more than enough national parks, and in fact there should be less. And I think we need to show the government that we are not happy, and this is a really good way of doing it. So keep up the good work.
Thank you for all of you that have travelled to make the effort and come down. It is so important to be able to send a really powerful message to particularly the Labor Party who are still in the House and there. So thank you for making that particular effort. The key message that we want to leave you with is public land is for public use. It's not for locking up. Public land is for public use. We had a stand out at the 4x4 Expo a couple of weekends ago, and I was amazed at the number of city people that came through and actually signed the petition to make sure public land is for public use.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Isabella, and here I have my little sister Darcy. I am a sixth generation bush horse rider. I'm here today to protect my right to continue here riding my pony in the Barmah Forest, like all my family before me have done for generations. I am 11 years old and I have many years ahead of me. I don't want to be playing and spending all my time watching video games and watching movies. Please, Mr. Andrews, don't lock us out. Keep the Barmah bush open for everyone. Thank you.
Now you can understand why we want the bush open. It's for kids like this. It's our future generation. That's how important it is, that we must keep our bush open. Not just for us now, but for youngsters like that, so they can enjoy the bush as well.
Thank you, Bill. Can we just put our hands together for Bill Schultz, because he has been the driver behind this. We were advised that we should contact, or Peter Walsh said we should nag the Labor Party because they're the people who are in government. Well, we did invite Daniel Andrews, and we got an acknowledgement of the invitation, and we did invite Lily D'Ambrosio, who unfortunately didn't even deign to respond, and she's in her ivory tower, and only the Greens have got the key. Now, VIAC has treated the prospectors very badly yet again. We lose at least another 55,000 hectares in the Central West investigation if they get their way. This is in addition to the 13,500 hectares that we lost when the Jar Jar Rung management plans were put together in Central Victoria. And gold is where you find it. They can't say you can go somewhere else because these are all gold fields that they're locking us out of. There might be a little bit of state forest left somewhere, but whether it's got any gold or not, we probably don't know. By the way, the Jar Jar Rung are the same people who want to reintroduce dingoes to the Central Victorian goldfields. Lock out the prospectors, bring in the dingoes. And they've decided that prospecting is an extractive industry. Now, most of you, all prospectors know there's nothing extractive about what we do. We extract rubbish. But the amount of gold that we find is minuscule, so calling it as extractive is absolutely claptrap. We do actually actively care for the bush. We have our Clean Up the Parks days, and our reward is to be excluded. I'll tell you what, there won't be too many more Clean Up the Parks days if this goes ahead. And what really is wrong is that there's no science behind what VIAC are doing, and they haven't even given an excuse for excluding prospecting. They've just done it. And the same with the Jar Jar Rung people. I will add that when Lily D'Ambrosio was Resources Minister, she did come out with us looking for gold. She didn't find any. Maybe that was our mistake. But this isn't only about prospecting. I know that there's been some concern that Buggew has been led by the prospectors. That's just a fact of life. But we need the engagement of all of you, and I'm pleased to see the variety of groups that have come along today. Everyone here today is being affected by the activities in Green Group and VIAC plus the weakness and unwillingness of the Andrews government to stand up to them. We are facing the proposed 525,000 hectare Great Forest National Park, the Emerald Link, the marine parks, the park in the Strathbogies and a hell of a lot more. Not to mention the Aboriginal groups are now calling for ownership of all public land. Then we, the people, lease it back from them and pay them rent. Victorians don't want this, can't afford it. Victoria was built on gold. Our mineral emblem is gold. Most of our grand buildings like this one were built on the money behind gold. We are amazingly blessed to have this resource. Why then is it considered to be evil to want to look for it? We all need to work together and tell the Andrews government we will not accept any more lockouts without a bloody good reason. Thank you.
Thanks to all of you. Thanks for coming out and standing up for your recreation, for your pastime, for your livelihoods. Thanks for coming out and standing up for common sense. Thanks for coming out and standing up for public access to public land. Because a lot of politicians in that place don't hear common sense, but I see it out here today. I see people who love their country, who love their estate, love their environment. People who love camping, bushwalking, fishing, prospecting, horse riding, four-wheel driving. And they don't want to have that taken away from them by this Labor government, do you? Now, the Minister for the Environment and Energy, she's got her hands full at the moment. She's made a mess of recycling. She's made a mess of energy prices. She's made a mess of solar on rooftops. And now she's in charge of deciding if you get to keep accessing public land. I have to tell you, I don't have confidence. I don't have confidence in Lily. I don't have confidence in Dan. But I have common sense. I have a lot of confidence in the common sense of Victorians. So, and I know I've had my colleague Louise Staley, member for Ripon, she's been out here on this issue. Great to hear from Rita Bentley before. My former job as Minister for Resources, one of the best days I had in the job was going out with the prospectors and miners and Rita and going out there looking for gold. Because this is, as Rita said, this is a state built on gold, our state emblem is gold, and to think that we're going to stop people accessing public land for recreation is just madness. Just madness. We won't cop it, you won't cop it. Can I say congratulations on finding such a strong voice today. We are with you, the Liberals and Nationals are with you. Make sure your voice is heard and don't let them take away your right for public access to public land.
I'm here today for two reasons, and both of them you can call them selfish. I'm here today to defend my right to be an Australian. And one of the things we do is when we're having a joke and having a beer, you say, bloody beauty, it's the weekend, I'm going bush. That's what we say. Now what are you going to do when they lock us out? Oh, I'm going to McDonald's. No, not going to happen. I represent the Mountain Cattlemen's Association today. I'm also associated with the Barmah Forest Cattlemen's Association. What we do is we used to manage the bush. We used to look after it. Locking it up is a waste of time. It's like going to your 16-year-old kid that's got a shitty, messy bedroom saying, close the door, it'll go away. It won't go away. If you go up into the high country, you'll see the mess that's been made up there, and it's absolutely atrocious. No one can go in there. You can't bushwalk, you can't ride, you can't do anything up there. Not only that, once you lock everyone out of everything, you lose knowledge, and knowledge is strength. I come from Kinglake. I know a little bit about bushfires. So what's happened up there since the bushfires now has gone from bad to worse. They haven't managed anything up there, and there's a lot of tracks up there that the trail bike riders, the four-wheel drivers, the hunters, they know them, and when a fire comes through, that's the knowledge you need. You need to be able to say to someone, where's the track, I can get in behind the fire. And that's what we'll lose. As I say, shutting up the bush is a waste of time. Our fathers and our grandfathers went to war to protect what we take for granted. Don't take it off us. I beg you, don't take it off us. Now finally, the second reason I'm here, as you saw our little girl here before, I've got grandkids. I want them to be able to see what I've seen. I'm 65 years old. I've seen quite a bit of the bush. I want to see more, but more importantly, I want my grandkids. I want your grandkids. I want everyone's grandkids to be able to see it. We don't own the bush. You don't own the bush. They don't own the bush. We own the bush. It belongs to all of us, and I think it's our right as an Australian to protect it. So, good on you for coming in today. We won't go away. We're not giving up, and we're going to be here forever. Thank you very much for your time.
So this is what we've got to be careful of. But what happens when you lock up a national park? It becomes weed infestated, unfortunately. It also then protects all the wild, all the feral animals that are actually killing our wildlife because hunting is gone in that area. So turning a state forest into a national park is a no-brainer. You just don't do it. Okay, I'm going to call on now Les Adams, who's part of the timber industry. Les?
My name's Les Adams. I'm a hardwood logger in the native industry, and I'm bloody proud of it. I work in one of the oldest industries in this land. It is the most regulated industry. It's like working in a fishbowl nowadays. We get looked at from every aspect of it. But the land that we work in is what they want for a national park. A bit funny about that, isn't it? We've supposed to have bucketed it up. We've been there for nearly 2 centuries. They still want it as a national park because it is the greatest forest of all, a multi-use forest.
You get rid of the loggers and you've got rid of your defence for any bushfire in that region. The loggers are the first ones to go in. They also got all the equipment, bulldozers and everything else to clear the tracks. You'll notice, or you remember just only a few months ago with these fires we had down in Victoria, there was a green group that actually locked up all the logging equipment during those bushfires. It took them over 10 hours to be able to get those plant in and running to stop that bushfire. That was 10 hours of that fire raging, which could have lost lives. This is how stupid it really is for allowing all this sort of thing to happen. So it's vitally important that we also protect the loggers because they are protecting us. Thank you. I'd like to call on now John Dowd.
I bet you I could tell you what's happening at the moment in terms of VIAC and this new idea of a new park. They've obviously met with you guys and they say that they consult and you guys do your best to put across your opinion, and then what they do is they totally ignore you and they bring in the decision that the government agencies and the government wanted because VIAC are a publicly funded government organisation. It's exactly the same thing that happened with the Barmah Forest being turned into the Barmah National Park. Back then, 10 years ago, we tried to give the government a lesson in what the word consultation means. Consultation means that you go out to the bush, whichever area, and you consult with the people honestly, and you get their opinion, and you get the real truth, and then you go back to Melbourne and you put everyone's opinion equally, and then you decide what you do. You don't decide beforehand and then come up and do the consultation. It's dishonest. As a result of what VIAC did to us at the Barmah National Park, our heritage is slowly being destroyed, and this new park, it'll happen the same way if they get their way in relation to that. We lost the logging, we lost the cattle grazing, we've lost firewood collection. They're about to try to slaughter all the wild horses in the Barmah Forest. They're about to ban trail riding. They're about to bring in lower speed limits in boats along the Murray River. They're about to introduce camping fees in the Barmah Forest for the first time. And that's what we're fighting against. And it's based on the dishonest conduct of government agencies. They're lying to the general public.
All I got was people coming up to me saying, good on you, mate. Don't forget to tell them about us. And the first us was a group of guys with short hair, really fit blokes. Yeah, well, they were, don't you? They were soldiers. And they were waiting to go on a deployment, and they said, you know, when we're overseas, you know what we think about? We think about camping in the bush, getting home to our families, getting some peace and quiet and solitude. And then I went into the bathroom, and there's a poster and it says mental health awareness. Well, let me tell you something. The bush, you've already heard this, is our heritage. Australia started out as a bunch of tents on the side of quite a nice harbour in Sydney, but I'm in Melbourne, so I can't say that. This building behind, 1856, built off the back of people who were camped out in the bush. We do this because it's our lifestyle. It doesn't matter how we do it. Too many times, I've travelled all over the country, I've been really lucky, it's my job, I love it. But you know what I keep seeing? Gates, where there weren't gates before. And then they go, oh no, we didn't shut it down. No, you can still go there. There's the day use area, bollarded off with trees. And you can go for a walk. Yeah, well maybe you could if you're a green academic and you spend 5 days a week sitting on your backside. You might want to go for a walk. The rest of us are workers. You know, maybe our knees aren't so good after 20 years of laying carpet or something. The bush is where we go for our recreation. And the reason we go is because we're Australians. It's our heritage. Now, I've got to tell you, as a Queenslander, I came down here and I knew the history of this beautiful city and I know how it was built. But I thought, I had a quick look and tried to understand the politics, which, no offence gentlemen, is a little bit confusing. You seem to have a bit of a roulette system going on down here. But I looked at it and I thought, hang on a minute, inner city suburbs greens. Well, that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? So I kind of expected to see rain tanks and solar panels and wind pumps and maybe using some of these gardens to grow some fruit. But oh no. Do you know where these people come from? They're academics. This VAC committee up here, Victorian, what is it? Environmental, tell me? Yeah, I know it's crap, but it's an advisory committee. I looked them up, 5 people, probably about my age, which means they went to university for free in the 70s, not like the kids of today who get saddled with massive bills. And here they are picking up their 900 grand a year to sit up there and make decisions about all that vast bushland out there. Absolutely ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense at all. And I know, because I had a look, that what they wrote at the beginning of the year was word for word what they came out with at the end of the year after they'd done all their consultation. And it embarrasses me, as a professional four-wheel driver, to note that they consulted with four-wheel drivers. They consulted with a mob called Victorian Four-Wheel Drive, which is supposedly a peak body, which has 4,200 or something members. I met at least 5 of them today who are ready to leave, because that is less than 1% of the four-wheel drivers. So they didn't really ask anyone. And then we find out that they get $250,000 a year from the government. And then the last $750,000 over 3 years, I read the fine print. And then the last thing I saw was that they've actually recommended that all the tracks be gated off. And that people be charged to go in, that money can go back to the government. Of course they have, because they'll have the keys. And they'll probably collect a fair swag of the money. The bush is not about greed. The bush is about our heritage, it's about our mental health. It's the place we need for our recreation. It's the last place on earth you can find true solitude.
Firstly, thanks again for everyone coming. You're actually representing more than what's here today. As an example, Ruthie had an online survey done, an online petition done. You got 48,000 to sign it, saying that they're against any of these lockups. You've had 30,000 signed from the Barmer mob. And there's many more people out there that haven't been able to get here today because they're working. So you guys should all be proud. You're representing everyone. I mean, we've had people come from South Australia, Queensland, everyone. We're here to tell them that we don't want it locked up. So that's great. All right, so we've got 7 main demands. These will be presented to the Parliament. So we need you guys to vote on them. So when I say them, I want you to say yes and put your hand up, all right? Number 1, I'm going to read these out. We demand a parliamentary inquiry into public land management as detailed in our petition. Yes! Number 2, we also recommend a moratorium on the creation of new parks and reserves until they can be based on the recommendations of a parliamentary inquiry. Yes! VAC full of crap. Yes! Sorry, that's not official. Yes! Number 3, this rally will not accept VAC's recommendations in the Central West Forest investigation that will restrict or ban any commercial or recreational user and their activities in any way, shape or form! Yes! VAC's full of crap. Yes! 4, that VAC be disbanded and in a new advisory body be formed that will represent all recreational and commercial stakeholders of public land, including the CFA. Yes! This rally will not accept any more state, national or conservation parks that will restrict or ban people from enjoying their chosen activities. Yes! Come on people, we want to hear you. That Victorian government stops giving full control to Aboriginal organisations, not people. These organisations are commercial organisations, corporations. Now these blokes are getting paid a fortune. Most Aboriginal people don't even know what they're doing in these corporations. Most Aboriginal people, like us, are going to be locked out of these areas. They put a ban and a bloody gate on it. You're not getting in if you're black, white or brindle. To make rules and regulations that restrict or ban other people and their activities. Yes! That this rally has no confidence in the Victorian Minister, Lily D'Ambrosio. Yes! VAC! 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 All right. Good day. Thanks again, everyone. You're amazing.
Thank you, Jason. Okay, can I have a show of hands, first of all, or we need somebody to second that motion that was put forward? I'll second it. Man, oh, Jesus Christ. Many places. Okay. Anyone to speak against? Only the doggy. Right. All for it? Yes! Okay, carried. Right, as you can see that we've also had many parties, parliamentarians supporting our cause, which is great, thank you. But this does not stop here. It doesn't stop now. This is only the beginning. We need your support, we need your help now. Right, we've done what we can, but we'll do more. But we need your support. And what we need you to do is go and talk to your local parliamentarians. Tell them that you're not happy. Ask them not to vote on this resolution or on this policies of the VAC report.
Alrighty, that's it guys, all done and heading out of the city, so turned out awesome, fair crowd, so should be good. I'll talk to you guys very soon. See you later.
I was calling out your name with my